And welcome to episode 10
of The Ed Factor. Now, Andy.
Yes, Christopher.
We have been extraordinarily busy of late.
We have.
And we've had a technical break of a week or two.
We have.
And if you check the last episode, there might be a few wee glitches in there. So we've been listening to a lot of Maiden. And we're here at our 10th birthday.
Episode 10 to talk about Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
So, following on from our last episode, which was our longest episode to date.
1 hour and 40 odd minutes.
Yes, we got lost in time.
We got lost somewhere in time.
Didn't we?
We did indeed, yep.
So, well, maybe not, famous last words. I never know how long we're going to be. But we'll see, I suppose.
And we haven't seen each other for a good while too, so
we've no idea. Again, as we always say this, we never discuss what we're going to talk about in the episode.
Absolutely.
So forgive tangents, forgive duplication.
Yep.
Etc.
Any arguments, anything like that. Because
like that.
We've only just come on speaking terms after Andy didn't give Somewhere in Time 10 last week.
Yes.
Anyway.
Chris was bitterly disappointed in my mark for it,
but anyway.
I'm standing by my 7.5 for it.
And we are still not enough. But anyway, they go on ahead.
So we will pick up. We will start this Seventh Son journey. I think where the Somewhere on Tour ends.
Yep.
Which is the 5th of November 1987.
Yep.
Now again, I think this shows just how quickly.
There's Ed Force One.
There's Ed Force One going over the airplane there. It shows how quickly I think Maiden turned things around. We said this every episode.
Yeah, they do, and this probably factors in their big breaks that they have, but it always seems to turn out
to be hardly anything.
To be hardly anything. They seem to just sort of get back in the saddle after about 2 or 3 months, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that is exactly what happens here. I mean, I know after the Somewhere in Time tour kind of ended, Bruce has said that he kind of, because he had felt he may quit, he thought about quitting before that album, and he wasn't in a good place.
No credits in Somewhere in Time as well.
No songs written by him, and I think after the tour he thought, well, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Was kind of his reflection. So November 87 they finished that, and they're in the studio by February.
9 days.
To record Seventh Son. And February and March they spend recording that album, which is then 1988, which is then released on the 11th of April 88.
Yeah. Which is weird because there's a lot of anniversaries. If you look at social media and things like that, there seems to be a lot of anniversaries around this time of year.
Yeah.
It's always like September, October time. A new Maiden album was out, so I just thought it was a bit odd.
It's a bit odd. Really quick turnaround. I can't believe how quickly they got this album together.
Regarding the content as well, yes, I think it's actually quite astounding.
Yeah. So it's probably a good place to start. The kind of content, then the direction this album's going in, etc.
The genius.
The genius of the
or
idea,
genius,
or genius, if you want to call it that. Yeah. So Steve. My understanding is that Steve calls Bruce.
Yes.
And what is probably a very underrated piece of man management.
Yeah, I think so.
If
he was a football manager, he'd be getting manager of the month, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He calls Bruce, says, I've got this idea for the next album about kind of premonitions and a Seventh Son thing. Have you any lyrics that would tie in with that kind of thing? Bruce goes, might do, but here, I can definitely come up with stuff.
Yeah. Sort of like the wee switch, didn't it?
Yeah, he said for me, I was off to the races.
Yeah.
Concept album. Great. And it got him back into the writing mode. And I think it's worth noting that Steve thought, right, let's get Bruce back again.
Back in the writing.
I mean, he could have easily...
Head in the game.
Could have easily phoned Adrian after the lyrics he wrote on Somewhere in Time. But I think he obviously knew
when you think
it was
about
important to get Bruce back into the creative mode. And
the last content that Bruce has provided was 1984.
Yeah, Power Slave.
You know, you're talking 4 years later.
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Steve, I think the first song written on this is Clairvoyant, isn't that right?
The first song, yes.
Which is based on which he had the idea from Doris Stokes.
Doris Stokes.
So
yes.
we really have, you know, an octogenarian British psychic from the 1980s to thank for the what is going to be quite a good album.
Yeah, yeah. So
which I'll find out about when we talk a bit more about each track and things.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's amazing. You know?
It is amazing.
It's kind of like you watching me watching like David Attenborough documentary, or watching Louis Theroux doing something about, you know, arranged marriages or something, and then coming out with this brilliant idea, or an episode of X-Files or Stranger Things or something.
Like, my understanding is
mad.
Doris Stokes, for anyone who's not heard of her, or I mean, I wouldn't have.
British medium.
Yep.
She had some notoriety in the UK in the 70s and 80s. Is one of these people who would have done things where you would have spoke to the dead
and you know, like
so anybody out there with a name such and such. Yep. But yeah, she was held in very high regard in that community.
Yep. She possibly inspired an episode of Only Fools and Horses.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And if you don't know what that is, get on YouTube.
Get on YouTube and look that up. But yeah, interesting that I think she's also controversial because there's charges of fraud, cold reading people, audience plants. There's evidence found of this kind of thing. So, not to take away from the mystique of the concept of this album, but it's worth kind of
it is absolutely
probably a load of old cobblers, as they would say.
Could well be.
But that is
you want to believe, you can believe.
Exactly. It's interesting that I think Steve does believe in a lot of these things, or question them.
He does have and I know Bruce does as well. You know, with.
Yeah.
He has a wee bit of a fascination with Aleister Crowley and stuff, doesn't he?
Yes,
a wee bit, yeah.
Yes.
That's the most. Hard rockers.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy Page. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting and odd, but Steve definitely questions a lot of these things.
Yeah,
as
he
you
does.
say, Bruce does as well. So yeah, that is the genius of this album, The Clairvoyant.
Yeah.
And then the ideas seem to kind of flow from there. Bruce, my understanding is he scrambles about, looks in some old lyrics, and says he does have some things with the number 7 in them.
Yeah.
Which is too much of a coincidence to ignore.
Yeah, fair.
I'm getting this from some 1988 interviews, where Bruce says this, and then they work on that.
Yeah.
They sketch out a story, and when I say they sketch out a story, it's Bruce with Steve. Bruce sketches out a story as such for this. Although Adrian writes a lot, Adrian has nothing to do with the lyrics in this album at all.
Right. Okay.
The other first song that they had and the first song that they play together, I think, is Moonchild.
Right.
Which Adrian had all the music done out for, pretty much. And regarding the lyrical content, he was told that that's what they were doing, and he was like,
easy going.
Okay.
Happy enough.
I was working on the music for it. That didn't really. So he stayed out of the lyrics in this one, which again may have been a bit of man management in that maybe he was giving Bruce his space.
Yeah, and he seems to be the type of person that would be happy enough to do that. You know what I mean?
Happy enough to do that. Yeah, and I think he had
all right songs.
The all right songs.
Yeah, the all right songs.
Enough on his plate. He kind of writes, he writes 3 songs here, which are mostly, music-wise, mostly his.
Yeah.
Actually, in their entirety, I think. And there's a decision made that they're going to use some synthesizers.
Yes, instead of the Roland guitar synth.
Instead of the Roland guitar synth. So what I always thought, but saw an interview with Adrian Smith saying, I'm playing guitar synths on the album as well.
There are. That's right, there are.
Yeah, there is some bits which are. I think the Evil That Men Do.
Can I Play With Madness? The end of the solo.
Okay.
I've heard an isolated track of that. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I thought the Evil That Men Do sounds a bit.
There is as well.
And stuff. So
they're definitely in it. That was just one that you could definitely pick out for the listener.
Yeah. And I know that they chatted about that live. They didn't want to use them
Yes.
again because it was too much
Yeah.
stomping on
Jumping
pedals
about
and stuff.
yeah.
So the decision to have Michael Kenny playing the
Yeah.
keys,
Steve's bass tech.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he was going to be like, you know, the Phantom. Is
Aye.
it that
What's it
what they
called?
call
The
him?
Phantom,
Yeah,
yeah, I think so.
to play live.
Yeah.
And
The Count.
The Count.
Count.
How could we not?
Yeah.
The Count. So they made that decision quite early that yes, keys would be integral to these songs and keys would be featured live and they would have the keyboard player rather than the guitar synths which they had used on Somewhere on Tour live.
Somewhere on Tour. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think we can.
Yeah. It's amazing. Just we're
This
going to
album?
the tracks.
Yeah, we'll go into the tracks. I
Yeah.
suppose. Also, just before we go into the tracks, one wee thing. It's like if you look this up on Wikipedia, it says, "Oh, it's based on Seventh Son, the novel by Orson Scott Card." If it is, it's extraordinarily
Really?
loose.
Aye.
I don't think it is.
Don't think it is.
I don't think it is. It's,
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is a traditional folklore thing. It's not, you know.
it's not like this guy invented the
You
story.
know, I know there's definitely, I've heard even here of
Mm-hmm.
people who would have been a seventh son of a seventh son, and traditionally the seventh son of the seventh son would have had prophetic powers. You know,
and this kind of
it's
thing.
a
Yeah.
folklore. You know, and I'm sure it's worldwide folklore.
Aye.
There's obviously the references to the number 7.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and this being Maiden's 7th album, and you
So
know,
it was neat, fitted neatly,
Yeah.
and quite odd that Bruce already had some lyrics kicking about. With
yeah,
that
absolutely.
and that type
The
of thing. So-
story, I have to say, going through this, I definitely can see there's a story here, you know, and I have listened to this and listened to this and listened to this
Yes.
the past few weeks, and there's definitely, each tune does have a loose
yeah,
story.
yeah.
So this is Maiden's only concept album.
So it is their only intentional concept
Yeah.
album, and I find it ironic that it comes after Somewhere in Time, which was for me an unintentional concept album.
right.
They didn't mean to write a concept album, but they did.
Yeah.
Every single song's
It's about time.
Is about time,
Yeah.
and you know those kind of themes as we.
But this is deliberate.
You know.
This is deliberate. And do you know, there's one thing as well, like,
This is deliberate. Yes.
have you ever listened to Operation Mindcrime?
Yes.
You
the
have?
Queensryche.
Yeah.
Yes.
I started to listen to it and I thought to myself, they're nothing like each other, really. So they're not.
Not really.
No.
No.
And Steve loves Queensryche at this stage.
Yeah.
He hates thrash, by the way, which is something I picked up in interviews.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
not a fan of it. I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Talking in 1987, 88.
Funny,
in interviews.
and yet Megadeth were on tour with him, who he didn't seem to regard as a thrash band. And
Yeah.
I also saw him
Featuring Dave Mustaine, one of
saying-
the founder members of Metallica.
yeah,
wasn't
and him saying quite a 1988 interview, that he told Lars that he didn't think their singer
Aye, that's right.
was really
It's only good. So up to the
was
job.
really up to the job.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it almost seems laughable, that kind of comment now. And the stuff he was saying about
Yeah.
the thrash bands. But actually, if you watch the trajectory of the thrash bands, they start to slow down.
Yeah.
And they get, I remember particularly when Load came out, I remember Steve Harris saying that he really liked it because it's so much closer to what we do.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Load is a good album.
well, it's a great
Yeah.
it is a good album.
Yeah.
I know not
A
everyone
lot of
thinks
people
that.
don't like it, but yeah,
But,
there's some great stuff on it.
I just think for
It's
Steve,
nearly like they're Somewhere in Time.
yeah,
Yeah, isn't it?
I suppose you could say that is, yeah, and it's
But then
the use of melody and
Yeah.
the vocal. I mean, from the Black Album onwards in Metallica, you know, James' voice is used in a totally different
Yeah.
way to it was different in God. So I can understand musically why Steve was saying what he was saying, basically.
not at the time, yeah. Mhm.
But,
and the Megadeth and then the Monsters of Rock lineup.
yeah, yeah,
They do.
and
But anyway,
it's interesting.
We're way off on a
We're
tangent
off on a
again.
slight tangent there, but it's interesting what you say because I do think it has a bearing just about the thrash bands. Somewhere in Time, I think in the States sold 2 million.
yeah.
It
This
sold
didn't sell as
1.2
well.
million, Seventh Son.
But
So
because
there's a big dip in sales
you
in
spoke
America.
about that in the last episode, didn't you? You said that the influence of Power Slave and then Somewhere in Time not being what
So,
Power Slave was.
I think Somewhere in Time sold big units because Power Slave and the
Slaves.
World
Yeah, you're
Slavery
right.
Tour
No,
did so well.
I agree with that totally.
In those
now.
days, a lot of people just go out and they buy the album.
Yeah.
They maybe heard one track on, rock radio or something like that,
MTV or something.
I think with Somewhere in Time being a bit more polished, a
Yeah.
bit softer, some people would kind of say.
Synths in it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that obviously maybe turned off some of the hard rock metal audience
Yeah.
that were at that time, being hit with,
Slayer.
as we said,
Yeah.
Rain and Blood,
Yeah.
Master of Puppets, Peace Cells,
Yeah.
this kind of thing. So I think, that's why it affected Seventh Son then. It's
No, I
that
agree
knock-on
totally.
effect to the next album.
I agree totally.
It's a shame because this album, I think, is heavier than Somewhere in Time.
It's definitely more Maiden.
Yeah, it's darker and it's heavier. So let's talk about the songs.
Now, we're going to completely contradict ourselves if I would be so bold.
Yes.
Track 1, side 1.
Track 1, side 1,
Moonchild.
Moonchild.
Acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
7 lines. 7 deadly sins, 7 ways to win. That's 7 lines.
Never noted that
Yeah,
before.
it's
Well done, man.
good. It's
well
good.
done.
So if you are that guy, you bought the album, you thought to yourself, I didn't really like Somewhere in Time. And then you went and bought this. Bruce, singing with an acoustic. What comes in next? Okay, turn the volume up on your guitar. That's what the volume swell, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you're hit with keyboards.
Then you hit with
You're like,
keyboards.
what?
Yeah. Yep.
Have Maiden sold out? The answer is no.
No, they haven't.
Because
They haven't.
I think this track is quite possibly the best first track on any Maiden album.
That's a big statement, man.
I absolutely love
Love it.
this song.
It is fantastic.
It's brilliant. Do you remember tracking him?
Yeah. Yep.
So good.
Awesome
Somewhere
song.
Back in Time tour. It was as the first time we'd seen it live.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. It's brilliant. It just comes on. They're revitalized. They're reborn. I think
Well,
it's so good.
I think that intro that you've
The 4
described
chords.
really well there. There's a real sense of drama
Oh yeah.
about it, and this is a concept album, and it's like a lovely little introduction to a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't
Yeah.
give that much away at
Doesn't.
all.
It
It's very
doesn't.
hard to figure out at times.
I think it's about. Is it actually about the 7th son rather than the 7th son of the 7th son?
Yes, that's what I have. So is this about the birth of the 7th son,
Yeah.
who will be the father of the 7th son of the 7th
Yeah.
son, if you know what I mean. And it's about good and evil trying to claim him.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
So it is. And the devil putting, these are Bruce's words,
Yeah.
the devil trying to put all these things in his path. The
Yeah.
child is completely innocent, is
Yeah.
unaware, but it's that wrangle, over they both good and evil
It's got
fighting over
such
him,
a.
so to speak.
It's got such not pantomime. That's giving up. That's just being totally
Derogatory, yeah.
disrespectful. But it's just,
Drama.
You can
It's
imagine
drama.
It's
Yeah.
so great.
As Bruce always says,
Yeah.
theatre of the mind. It's,
Theatre of the
it's
mind.
exactly that type of thing.
being that kid when you heard that the first time, you were like, "What is this? It's great."
Yeah.
And Mandrake, talking about Mandrake in the chorus, like
I know.
Mandrake, people used to think that Mandrake, I think you boiled it up and drank it, so many roots of it that it caused miscarriages. So that was like an old sort of herbal sort of thing that they had in the days of yore. And Mandrake, when you take it out, if you've seen Harry Potter, the roots resemble a person. So they do. So it's Hear the Mandrake Scream.
Wow. That's
Oh, it's great. It's so good.
I
Really good.
I was so disappointed when Sujitsu didn't make it to number 1 in the UK.
I was raging.
Drake made it to number 1.
I know.
Because I had the line. I was gonna tweet.
Hear the
man Drake scream. And then Drake did it. So
Oh, well.
anyway, but yes.
No accounting for taste, United Kingdom public.
No. But anyway, yeah, love this song. it's a bit of a special song for me actually. Whenever I got my first guitar, an Encore Strat copy.
Yep. Remember it well.
I got my Auntie Myrtle, probably inspired by my cousin Gav, or he went get him that one. Got me. This is the songbook for this album.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
I think I had that on loan for like 20 years.
Kind of the first. You might still have it.
No, I don't.
know.
I'm not looking for it.
So Moonchild's kind of like the first song I properly learned how to play.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which
hell of a task.
Well, it is and it isn't, because you've got those opening chords.
Those 4 chords are great.
That was kind of cool.
It's a hook too.
And then the power chords that come in.
Yeah.
It was like a bit of a wow, because I could switch the distortion on my wee amp and learn how to play a power chord, but just hitting them, doing the down now. It sounded so powerful, and it was like, yes, this is why I wanted to get a guitar.
Yeah. It just makes you, it just makes you want to go.
Yes. It's a brilliant song.
It's brilliant. It is. It's brilliant. It is. I think it's the best opening track on the album. There's some brilliant ones.
It's some stiff competition.
We've talked about this. I just think this is like, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1988. Thrash can do one.
Yeah, you see, the interesting thing for me, and
we're going full theatre.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about ancient cures for, getting rid of children, maybe,
But it's
claiming children for evil, or
like birth strangled babe and everything.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
Lucifer's my name.
Yeah, and the laugh, the evil laugh,
and the
scream laugh at the end. I really don't know how any metal fans or anyone who like Master of Puppets or couldn't like this track.
Yeah,
it's
you just be turning your nose up for the sake of it. I think
heaviest songs.
Yeah, the hook and the chorus is excellent.
Yeah,
it is excellent. You're singing it now, listening to me talking.
And brilliant solos too.
Yeah, brilliant
solos. Class.
It is fantastic. It really is. Sets the tone for the album.
Sets the tone for the album, and it's a Smith Dickinson. So Adrian had the music, Bruce the acoustic bit at the start,
right,
and the lyrics.
Great.
Are Bruce's.
Yeah. Yeah, that middle eight's pure Bruce Dickinson theatre, isn't it? The middle eight, then it's fabulous.
Yeah.
So it is.
And the album's off to a flyer.
It really is. It really is. Like, where does it go from here,
Well, it goes into...
Well, we know.
It goes into Infinite Dreams.
Yep.
Chris. Steve Harris composition.
What's your thoughts on this track, Andy?
So, several thoughts. Do you mean concept or music?
Just overall.
Overall, I think this is one of Maiden's Maiden at their most progressive, yet whilst being concise. It's really proggy, and there's loads of sections, yet it lasts 6 minutes and 8 seconds.
It doesn't meet our 7 minute cut off.
No, so it's not an epic.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
I say it's not an epic. We define an epic as being 7 minutes and over.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece of a song. Yes, I think it's one of the best songs
they've ever written
in the catalogue. Yeah.
I agree. There you are.
Yeah,
we're well on here.
From the
short but perfect.
From the Hendrix-esque guitar tones.
It's like pop rock, nearly. Before the band kick in, it could be the start of any 1988 hit.
Yeah, it probably could be. Yeah. It's kind of got that the intro bit.
I'm talking rubbish. Because it goes underneath that bit, doesn't it, at the beginning?
Yeah, it's got a wee.
It's Maiden.
It's Maiden. It's Total Maiden.
It's Total Maiden. It's not total pop rock. It's Total Maiden.
I was going to say it has a bit of a sounds a bit Still Life to me.
Yeah, I get wee bits of Children of the Damned. Now, just with the figures that he plays.
Yeah,
Adrian Smith plays. I get that too. The fills are beautiful on it.
Yeah. Oh, they really
good. You learn how to play guitar. Get the guitar book. Get it on Ultimate Guitar.
Some
whatever.
Great runs and little
some
riffs.
Yeah, and that would be you playing classic rock, you playing blues, you playing country. You know, you really could.
The fast bit is total Maiden.
It is absolutely brilliant.
It is total Maiden, breakneck speed.
The structure of this song,
And the scream.
yeah, the scream. The structure of this song is great because you got your slow bit, and then you've got, I love the
Slow
bit,
bit
sort of
chuggy?
yeah, the vamping bit, the dana, dana, yeah, that bit's great as well. And then you've got your Maiden twin lead.
Yep. Yes.
The drums. I haven't even spoken about Nico yet.
I know.
The drums in this song are fantastic.
Great.
They are. The drumming in this album, if you listen to isolated drum tracks, the drums in this are fabulous. So they are fabulous. Anybody who thinks Clive Burr's a better drummer than Nico is just wrong. Clive Burr's a great drummer, but Nico is masterful.
I agree. And it's not being disrespectful.
No, it's not being disrespectful.
Because we
loved him, and if you look at this in our episodes, like he makes Maiden at times.
Yep.
He made Maiden in the early days.
We certainly give him his credit and his contribution to the first 3 albums.
Or unparalleled, but yeah.
But Nico,
this is fabulous.
Yeah, the footwork on the fast bits
Yeah.
in this song is phenomenal.
It's unparalleled.
Absolutely.
Lars needs 2 pedals. Nico only needs 1 foot.
It's class. It's class. This song.
I love it. It's just the scream and then the cascade into the full metal.
Yeah.
Trooper-esque nearly. Not the same, but like, and the pacing of it. Help me.
Yeah.
Save me. Oh,
Those
really,
bits.
really good. Really good.
The scream is the best scream since Number of the Beast.
It probably is.
got that,
I agree with you totally.
You know,
There's another later on, and there's another note in another song which is very good too. But this is
it's phenomenal. Meaning wise,
then right, okay.
So this is about the seventh son experiencing, well, exactly what it says in the tin, infinite dreams.
Yeah.
So he's having all these weird dreams that he's struggling with.
Yeah, he's not sure.
And he's went to
Tortured.
see a soothsayer or something like that, and to say what are all these dreams I'm having. So that's the part of the story.
Yeah.
And so far, lyrically,
We don't know
with
what
the
path
album,
this child's on yet. This
No.
seventh son.
but so far I'm on board with the story.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
You know, it's not the most exact of stories, but you can get that a kid's been born. There's a good and evil struggle over him.
Well, the
in
angels and the
Moonchild.
demons are fighting over him when he's born.
Over him. And then Infinite Dreams
Yeah.
is right. He's got something.
It's a gift of some description. Yeah.
And it's given him these weird dreams. He can't really make sense of them, and he's asking what is this? And
Kind of like if
feeling,
you were observing children and they're drawing pictures of serial killers or something, you start to think, what's going on?
what's going on here?
It was a modern, I'm a teacher, by the way, but you're sitting there thinking, what is going on?
Why-
I have a couple of questions.
why is he or she drawing
chat to this
that?
person in a non-judgmental way, of course. But yeah.
Which I suppose would bring us to Can I Play with Madness?
This single,
The single.
the
Now-
single, the video, the tune.
We may differ on this, so
I don't think we will.
eh?
I don't think we will.
Because
Well,
we
no,
were
let's hear what you got to say,
right,
Steve.
because what we were saying about just this album and it having, it gets a great reception in Europe and elsewhere, I think, but in America it doesn't. What
No.
we said about thrash and stuff. Well, I think this single being the lead single of the album may also be a reason for that,
Yeah,
because
it's classic rock.
this song for me is the weakest on the album. So it is by a country mile. I'm not a great fan of this song.
Really?
I think it actually.
I am shocked.
Yes, you see,
Yeah.
I knew you would be. I think this song's a bit too soft. for
It's
Maiden.
not. It's not classic Maiden.
No, and I think it just, like, on Somewhere in Time, say Wasted Years,
Yeah.
maybe walk that line
Yes.
of, Adrian's commercial edge or Adrian
Yeah.
and Bruce's commercial
Stadium
whatever.
rock, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, stadium rock,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And we said that we also came up with Reach Out, which was rightly by Martin Birch and Steve.
Yeah, B-side material.
They said no, that's too. I think this, for me personally, is just a step slightly too much into the commercial classic rock territory for me, for Maiden.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It doesn't really do.
I agree with those. I agree with those points. I think it's as I've written in my notes here, I think they are obviously still being here in 2021 and all the massive hype with Senjutsu. This is them being extraordinarily canny in the face of thrash, the face of the fact that their album didn't sell too well in America. Summer in Time. This is
Summer in Time sold brilliantly in America.
Did it? Oh,
Yes.
well, yeah. Sorry, right.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm being silly.
It's this album that doesn't.
The dip. Yeah. Right. Well, this is a way. Sorry, this is of its time. The song is of its time.
Yeah,
I love the song,
It's very 80s.
but it's not.
In a way that to me Maiden never are. But this song
it's a way. It's a way. I think being very canny to grab a new, younger generation of fans.
It's a radio single.
Yeah. It's probably the
3.5 minutes.
We very said it, Wasted Years. It's more friendly than Wasted Years, radio friendly, I would say.
It's very
It is.
radio friendly. I think.
But it's a perfect song to draw in new fans who have never heard the band before.
Yeah, and it probably did that in Europe, but I think it did the opposite in America. It's just my own theory, and for me, I'm
Well, it was originally a ballad called "On the Wings of Eagles"
by Adrian.
Adrian,
It was actually a ballad.
Yeah.
And I, when I read that, that's in Mick Wall's book, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess Adrian says that, and I immediately went, yeah, it has that kind of softness about it. It doesn't quite do it for me. Anyway, it's a Smith Dickinson Harris composition, and
it's class. It's good. It's good.
you
I like it. I love it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I love. There's certain bits of it that I love in particular. The bit before the solo, "Listen to Me" said the prophet to me. That bit, I think that's really cool. I like the way the introduction is harmonized.
Yes, the
which
vocal
is
harmonies.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And then the gallop. Okay, we'll call it the gallop light. I like it. I like that.
And
there are elements of the classic Maiden sound in there, but it is a lighter version.
And a lighter version of it. There's a D note. Is it D?
Dig it.
The whole way through. And there's a cowbell.
Yeah. Well, can never have enough cowbell in rock, in my opinion. But I think it's brilliant. It's really catchy. Love the keyboard fill in the chorus, which is probably one of the things that turns you off, actually.
It does.
Yeah.
The melody of the chorus doesn't really do it for me either. And yet there's something about that keyboard fill as well. Just, it's just not really heavy enough for me. Or,
I suppose we just take a time out here because you love thrash. You love Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. I like them. I am more classic rock side, and Maiden would be. Well, you are too.
I love Thin Lizzy and AC/DC.
But at this age, at the age where this was having an effect, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were 13, when we were in school.
Yeah.
13,
True.
14.
True.
You were
More
Slayer, heavy, thrash, really, I liked Maiden. I liked Sepultura, but also liked Therapy, and I liked, other stuff.
Yeah.
Which I can't just rhyme off the top of my head.
Carter.
They stop with Sex Machine, yeah.
Stuff like that.
Class,
yeah.
That's right.
I remember you being mad
Two men
about
in a
them
drum
for
machine. I think
couple of
that's my
months.
first gig.
I remember.
I think I still have
remember
their
that,
12 inches somewhere.
But yes, I've always
Where are they
preferred
now?
the darker Maiden.
Yeah, you do.
And even though I suppose I've got older, and I love the proggier stuff, but Can I Play With Madness was just always, and I mean, it's not a recent thing.
Yeah.
Always was just the song on this album. By the way, I think the rest of the album is just utterly amazing.
Amazing.
This is just for me one little, just doesn't.
It's really interesting, you know. It is really interesting because Can I Play with Madness was the thing which made me get this.
Made you get the album?
I think so, yeah. I think so, because I had Somewhere in Time first. Well, I had Number of the Beast first, and then I got Somewhere in Time. But I got Somewhere in Time and Not on the Same Holiday, and I think that was the album at the time that was out.
Right.
So the cover of that, I thought, geez, I'm having that. Somewhere in Time. I'm having that, definitely. And played it for about 3 days non-stop. And then I went to another music shop in Dublin, and I seen this, and it was like the latest one. And I put this on, I thought, totally different cover, like. But then I think it must have been Top of the Pops or something. Must have been. The video's pretty cool.
Video is cool.
You know, it's with Graham Chapman's last performance.
Yeah, of Monty Python fame.
Monty Python fame.
The legend.
Brian.
Brian from the Life
King
of
Arthur.
Brian. Yes, for absolute legend. And the video is cool.
Yeah.
I have to say, I like the video. There's a cool wee story to it. I love the... it's got a great Eddie, and I love the Eddie in the Cloud type thing that's in the video.
That's right, it says in the video.
And I think it's kind of the
single
first...
cover's cool as well, actually.
It's the first kind of animated Eddie.
Yeah.
Kind of saw,
well, it beefed up the budgets, maybe, you know.
Yeah. And so I like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I hate the song or anything like that. It just, for me, didn't hit this Maiden's standard.
Yeah, okay.
It just wasn't. It was just a bit
When
of a...
did you come to this album? Did you get this album when the first album, I know the first album you got, and I know your favourite one's Peace of Mind, but, you know, it's not a lot more laterally, or did you just sort of get everything at once type of thing?
No,
we were doing tapes of everything for everybody.
I got everything at once.
Right,
then once I got, like, I think I think Fear the Dark was the first album I kind of heard. Like, Macca had it.
Really?
And Cat, yeah. And then I went out and got No Prayer for the Dying.
Word Macca?
Yes, Word Macca. I got No Prayer for the Dying. It was the first album I actually bought for myself. And then I just went off on a spree. I just got everything.
I was I taped those for everybody.
Yeah, I just got everything. And this album was, because then I got a guitar, and I got the songbook for this.
Yeah, you're a lot older than I was whenever I got that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see, I was
a kid still. I was like my son's age now. When I was 9, 8.
No. See, I hadn't heard Iron Maiden till I went to big school, you know. So
big school.
But I know. This album,
high school,
is a huge album for me, you know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's just interesting to find out, because we just have been friends for so long. Yeah. And this is something that's all new. Like, when did you get into Maiden, you know?
Yeah. And what do you mean you don't like Can I Play with Madness?
Yeah. I know.
You thought I probably always loved it.
It's just Maiden, just love Maiden. Everything they do. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
There may also be an element of it being, I know we're dwelling on this song quite a long time, there may be an element of it being outplayed, overplayed.
Could be as well.
Because, you know...
I feel the same way about Run to the Hills. I don't really listen to it because I've heard it 150,000 times.
Yeah, I don't get it as much with Run to the Hills.
I'm just saying, no reason.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. You know, songs that they play all the time. And if you listen to their live stuff, you know, like at the time I got into Maiden, so, you know, around that kind of 92, 93 mark, you know, a real live one was out, and
that's right.
You know, this song was on it, and then Live at Donington was out, and this song was on it too. You know, and I know there's lots of other songs were on it, but this just always was. I was never mad about it in the first place, and then it was this song again. This song again. You know, it was, and they've continually played it on lots of tours. Yeah, and I still would feel like that. You know, if they played it, you know, at Maiden England. Yeah, when we went to, you know, brilliant show. But yeah, I was kind of going.
What's next?
You could have played The Prophecy instead. You could have played Infinite Dreams. You could have played, you know, why trot out Can I Play with Madness again? You know,
because it's a crowd pleaser.
It's a crowd pleaser. Yes,
and it brings in people who previously didn't like Maiden.
Yeah.
But
I
like that. I think that's great. I think that, you know, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Could just the final thing on this track then
Sure, Angel and the Gambler.
for this album,
I
yeah.
don't talk about that.
That's for another
Oh
time.
my god.
This could you hear this song on another
Artist album.
on another Maiden album? Because this song is not
Maybe Somewhere in Time. Maybe.
Maybe.
But you're right, fair enough. That's a fair point.
You couldn't put it on Peace
No,
of
you
Mind.
couldn't.
You couldn't put it on Beast.
You couldn't put it on the X Factor.
Well,
Yeah, but you couldn't.
you couldn't.
Mhm.
No, it's too synthy and
Yeah,
you
mhm.
know, polished and
Yeah.
So it's quite unique to this.
Interesting. Mhm.
You know, this
Very
album.
interesting.
Yeah,
Good
for
point.
me, it kind of jars a little bit with the rest of this album, which sounds
Not thematically, no.
musically. It does,
Musically, but
it's,
not within
just-
the theme. It fits
yeah.
pretty well, I
the-
think.
which we haven't talked about the
No.
lyrics.
Going
He's
to,
telling a fortune player,
going to an
and
old
he's-
prophet, looking to get the future, looking to get his
Yeah.
future.
and the kind of a, am I losing the
Yeah.
plot type thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I
Basically,
make of it too.
you know, giving it, going through its theme there for 30 seconds, that's basically it.
that is basically it. And the lyrics are good. I don't have a
like the
problem with the
lyrics.
lyrics at all.
I think Bruce's vocal performance is quite good too.
Yes, it is.
Blind to see.
I wouldn't knock his storytelling, phrasing. Some of the notes are brilliant. Yeah,
Apart from
no,
the keyboard.
would not. It's more the melodies, and it's more actually just there's a softness about the whole music.
Yeah.
It's just too soft for me.
No, okay, that's
anyway.
interesting.
Anyway, the next song I would not say that about.
Well, I'm glad because I want to hear what you have to say about this because this is one of my favourites.
See, I love the Evil That Men Do.
I love this.
It's got a gallop.
It's got a gallop. It's got one bit in it which is just what next level Maiden.
I love this song, and for me, it's
Songwriting, Maiden songwriting at its one of its very finest.
Yep, it's Smith, Dickinson, Harris again. So the
Yeah,
same.
I love the way
trio
it's a
as
trio.
Can I Play
The
with
Three
Magnus.
Amigos.
Yep, the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Which we've done our homework. The Three Amigos
They've
ever
not-
really?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Is this the first time?
This is the first. I didn't do enough homework, but I think it's the first time that
Yeah.
three people have written on an album.
on an album?
Mhm. I do think I was going to say that at the end. Mm-hmm.
If it's not the first, it's certainly the first.
No, I think
to that
it is.
extent,
I
but
think it
yeah,
is.
it probably is.
Off
yeah.
the top of my head, I think it is. Definitely.
The Evil That Men Do for me. Now you could lift this song and put it on Peace of Mind. I think just strip the keyboards out.
Okay, fair.
You know
Yeah.
that's you
Yeah.
know, which is where the keyboards are there as an embellishment that add a little bit of the album mood
I'll be
for me.
Flipping way
But
better
in the
than
previous song, they're too much for me. So
way better than Quest for Fire.
it's a great song. It's a cool riff.
I love it. I love the
Um,
lyrics. It's nearly like the first ever romancy song.
Yes. So this song is
And when I
the
was a wee kid,
conception of the seventh song.
yeah, when I
of
was
the
a wee
seventh
kid
song.
listening to this, I was going, oh,
I
what's going on
know.
here?
Me and him talking about love.
Talking
on
about
Razor.
lying down in dust. Why would you lie down in dust? In the bed? No.
Yeah, yeah.
Eyes red with the slaughter of innocence.
You see,
Innocent TS or innocence C.
see, I love
Quite
that.
ambiguous.
There's that thread of almost the language of the occult
Yeah. Mhm.
is there.
Yeah.
You know, even
And
though
it's, the actual
potentially-
title is obviously Julius Caesar Act 3, Scene 2.
I would take your word. For
Oh,
that.
have you done that?
No.
By
the way,
paraphrase Shakespeare. Apologies to any English people. People who like English nationality, English people who love literature. Those who do good deeds, their deeds die with their bones. But those who commit evil, the evil that men do lives on.
right. I did not know that. I did not know that.
There you go.
And that's Shakespeare.
It's
Julius Caesar?
I can't remember.
Right.
I don't think it's Caesar. I think it's after Caesar's killed. I think.
Right. See,
I can't remember.
even Julius Caesar at all, see, a history degree, didn't do him.
Yeah, it seems that.
all Augustus.
I have a degree in history and I don't.
So
I have a degree in history, didn't do the Romans once.
I think there was literally like 2 pages on. It did lots on Rome, but there was just Julius Caesar. No, I remember our tutor at the time saying it would be the one thing, like, we should probably do a little bit on him. It'd be the one thing she
Kind of a big deal.
course.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a bit of a big deal. Yes, Augustus more so, but anyway, that's cool. That's cool. That's where that line's from.
Live, he quotes it, sure.
Yes.
I heard that.
I never knew what it was.
Oh, right, cool. That's a direct quote.
Cool.
So I'm quoting Bruce Dickinson, who's quoting Shakespeare.
Yes.
Even better.
Cool. Anything else about this song?
Yeah.
Loads.
Tons. Yeah.
I
Sacrifice, first time love, lost love.
Mm-hmm.
And I will pray for you. What a line.
What a line.
That bit there is amazing. You cannot listen to this album. You cannot listen to this song and not just me. You go, whoa!
Yeah.
It's belter. Don't you cry for me.
It is a great line.
Oh, and did we sort of fills? See,
I love that riff, which is also the intro riff as well, because it's one of the first ones that I kind of played as well.
Right, yeah. Now, Adrian Smith's solo in this as well.
Yep.
He fires the kitchen sink at it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really, really good.
Yep.
Really good.
I would.
Overall, an album. I think this is Davy's album, but this.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I do. I haven't said it. I'll say it some, and we went on our track. But we love Adrian Smith.
Yes.
We adore Adrian Smith.
Yes.
In fact, we probably, if we had a child, we'd call it Adrian Smith. But you mean like not me and my wife. She wouldn't let me call a cat Nico. But anyway,
the odds are against it, Chris. But
no, I know. By some, angels and demons kind of thing. We had a kid. We call it Adrian Smith. But anyway, Adrian Smith's work as always, but Dave Murray's is so good. But I'll talk about that in a wee minute. I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about Adrian in this one.
Adrian's solo in this, yeah.
It was fab.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Every trick. Not only not being like tricks, like being facetious about it.
Yeah. Is there a bit of wow in this?
Yeah, I think so. It's really. Yeah.
Those notes, there's a bit of something there, which yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Bit.
I love the ending of this track as well.
Mm-hmm.
Great way to flip the tape over, or the LP.
Yes.
That
was I always love playing that riff as well.
It's great. Yeah, I could talk about that. I would love to sort of be able to sing it.
Properly.
I mean? Yeah, properly. Not in some
not in full
cod opera way like I'm doing Julius Caesar.
But it's got. I mean, it's a great gallop. It's a song that they've played a lot live as
so
well.
Good,
but
yeah.
I don't mind them playing this live.
I nearly think it's a bit of a deep cut. Not deep like
I don't
say,
feel
Prophecy.
it's a deep. I don't feel it's a deep cut. No, I think it's a hit.
Yeah, okay.
To be, I think.
Nah, maybe I'm just being.
It's the second single of this album.
Oh, I forgot it was a single. Did I feel like James' second single?
Nope. So first single's Can I Play with Madness? Second single's
bow down to your discographic knowledge.
Yes. And The Clairvoyant is the third single off this album. Infinite Dreams is the single off. It's released for Made in England the following year in '89.
Right. See, I was only a kid then.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I don't have any of them. I just have the albums.
Yeah. So
this is where you did your research.
I did my research on that, so I did. Yeah, I was particularly. I wanted to see. I couldn't remember which single they'd put out first, and I had this theory that if it's Can I Play with Madness, I bet that's what turned a lot of American metalers off. And
you're right.
I was right. Fitted my odd theory anyway. So, but no, great second single, I think, and as you say, a cool way to finish off what was side one of the album.
I think as a side one. Go back to Power Slave. This is nearly, in my opinion, as good as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
To date, as a side.
As a side? Well, it's interesting you say that, because for me, side 2
It's even better.
slays it.
So I agree with you. I agree with you.
We're in agreement.
Yes.
Side 2 is
Yo.
awesome.
Side 2 is incredible.
It is the better of the 2 sides for me. Although side 1 is pretty
excellent,
good. Pretty good. Yeah. But this is just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So it is.
Kill.
Yeah.
Face melted everywhere.
Face melted everywhere.
Like
We
Indiana
have
Jones.
our first and only epic song of the album.
Yep.
The title track, the Titanic title track, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Yep. Brilliant. Epic.
By Steve.
Steady.
9 minutes and 52 seconds.
I couldn't have told
almost
you it was
10 minutes.
I couldn't have told you that. I honestly couldn't have told you that. I just think, I just thought its groove is fantastic.
Its groove is brilliant,
It really is. It really is. The groove that is laid down, the storminess of it, the
keys work. Because
the
they sound like a choir.
Yeah.
And they don't sound like Can I Play a Man? This is like a pop keyboard or something.
Yeah.
It sounds evil.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
It does.
It
does.
It sounds like
sounds like all the hooded, like a batter cover of Dance of Death. All the hooded figures around.
Melted candles everywhere.
That poor doll from Evil Maiden'S in Labour. And they're all around her, like something you'd see in some sort of twisted Dario Argento film or something.
Yeah, it's very
twisted crack.
cinematic. It's you get those pictures.
And then you've got an echo going. Yeah.
Yep.
Nearly like a Clive Burry gets going on there a wee bit, but really, really good.
It's brilliant. The chug.
Yeah.
And you know that Smith's
Groove.
giving it that there.
Yeah. Oh,
the Smithy action, isn't he? As he chugs this riff out.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Really good.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's really heavy.
Yeah.
I think this song, and Maiden always
You could
do
not
this.
be a thrash fan listening and go, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How could you
Yeah.
be a fan of one and not think like it's so dark, this
Yeah.
song, and occult. Richie out of bottom would have said. It really is. I love it. It's about the birth of
The seventh son of the seventh son.
seventh son.
Yeah, no, this is the seventh son of the seventh son side.
Yes.
We have a seventh son side and we have the seventh son of the seventh son side.
Yep.
Yeah. Try saying that
And it's
after
a
10
little,
Troopers.
After 10 Troopers is right. It's a little bit cyclical as well. There's parallels within it. So
With
again,
Moonchild?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It battles over good and evil, fighting over this
Yeah.
newborn child. But just the music is just stunning.
Musically, I think this is the best song on the album. Musically,
Yeah. It's got some stiff competition on this side.
it does. It
So
does. Now, there is one. Talking about it musically, there is. This song in particular, I think, it's the first half of it. It's heavy. It's brilliant.
Yep.
It is. If it didn't have the second half, I don't think it would be as good a song.
No, so you mean the large quiet bit, really atmospheric.
Yeah. And
Today
the
is born the
atmosphere,
seventh
yeah,
one, the
that
spoken
bit
word
there
bit.
just lifts it. It does lift it. I think if it stopped there, I'd have thought it's okay.
Yeah.
But it gives you
It's
the
so
drama.
dramatic. It's so dramatic.
drama.
It's class.
the scene, the
So
picture,
it
the
is,
scene set in the picture.
And
That bit, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, but that bit just lifts it. And then you've got your, it's like a delayed
yep.
something,
And
really long delay. It's class, and you got your.
Adrian's all over that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and you got your choir. They must have had everybody's fingers in the keyboard in the studio because I think they were saying they played it with like one or two fingers. And I was thinking, how did they do that? But
and Nico's drumming in that atmospheric, but
yeah,
the hi-hat work
yes,
is just
yeah,
He's going with both hands.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Yeah.
You know,
It's unreal.
It's great. So it is. It's just I love this bit, and it's funny you said about Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime, and I think. Did you mention that because I think Bruce and Steve had kind of...
Steve has name-checked that
Yeah.
for as long as I can remember.
I think,
in thinking about this album.
Yeah, I think
He's
that...
disappointed it didn't come out as good as it.
See...
That was a vibe I always got from it.
I think that Bruce is disappointed that it wasn't more like it.
I think I heard Steve saying in an interview. I was doing research.
Steve said, well, I thought our version was... I thought our album was pretty bloody good. Okay, I think he's like defensive over this album, and like, no, I think ours is better than Operation Mindcrime, and it's Bruce who thinks.
I don't know. I thought it was alright.
But you could be right. You could be right.
I might. Not really, but yeah. But well, anyway, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is there is with that spoken bit, and that there is a little bit of that and a little bit of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah.
In this, and probably the idea of a concept album. What year did What year did The Wall come out?
79.
There you are. There's a little bit of that. They're metal bands trying to do their version of that. You know, it's a concept album. The Wall's a concept album.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you ever thought of it in that way or.
No, I always think concept albums are sort of their own unique beast. Really, you know, I've heard of loads of different ones, but you know, I'm not going to talk about Magnum, but anyway, you know, yeah, you know, that was another album I had at that time I thought was really cool. But
Operation Mindcrime is very The Wall.
Yeah. Yes.
There's lots of you know, spoken vocal samples and this kind of thing. You know, whether this album.
I don't think Maiden would be right doing that. You know,
no, this album stays clear of that,
and it stays true to the form.
And yet it's able to deliver a spoken word, but and for me, a far more effective way with the vocalist doing it rather than
the choir going on the background.
Yeah,
it's like he's standing over the child. Today is born the seventh one.
It's class.
Yeah,
I love it. Love it.
Then we've got a couple of bars. Then Dave Murray lets fire.
He does.
It's my favourite solo.
This is on the
This is my favourite solo on the album.
That bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Dave first, isn't it?
And that it is Dave first, definitely. Didn't check, just thinking, oh no. I've listened to me that much, Mike. I know you're very good at it, better than I am, but Dave Murray, I read or heard, can't remember, doing research for this. Dave Murray meticulously planned every solo on this album.
Right.
And I don't know what, Andy, is more amazing. The fact that Dave Murray meticulously planned, look at the chord structures of all these songs, or the fact that the jammy bugger had went into every album before this and winged every solo. Because that's essentially what he says. He winged every solo.
Every solo?
For 6 albums.
But this time, that's really interesting. I didn't... No.
I did say it.
I would believe that he winged it. I always got that vibe. He doesn't write a lot.
He's just a
very free spirit. It just comes
cool.
out of him, you know?
Yeah, it comes out of him, that's right.
Yeah. And I can well believe he just goes in and...
just fires it out.
You know, wings it, as you say.
See you later.
Really
away to the golf.
But this time... I didn't know that he didn't, and I wonder, is that why? Is it because he thought, I've got to up my game here because Adrian was so dominant.
He was. It's his album.
Yeah. You know, he's so dominant.
He's the most dominating character on that album.
You know, and it must be that.
Aye.
Dave's
I think so.
Smiley's went, I gotta do a bit of prep work.
Yeah. You gotta maybe sit for 5 minutes and plan something. Probably 5 minutes. He's talking about meticulously planning. Well, he did it in the car, tapping it out in the steering wheel.
Well, no, we'll come to it in a minute.
Oh, he can't drive.
No. He's better on the green.
You.
What he writes probably one of his best songs.
Which we'll
come to.
His best song.
It is his best song.
I think it's
probably.
his best song ever.
Yeah. I would
I
probably
love it.
agree with that.
But anyway,
Yeah.
are we finished talking about Seventh Son with Seventh Son?
Well, I am. I think it's epic. You're saying like Dave's solo there. There's solo. There's twin lead. Then there's solo. There's twin lead. You know.
Oh, and then there's a bit.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Really good.
Love it. Yeah. So there's so many. You see, just that.
Blacker.
There's so many little sections,
Yeah.
little pockets of riffs that they're just able to throw. It's class.
That is brilliant.
Is it epic?
I think in the past 2 episodes I've been singing a lot of the songs.
Yeah, I want to go back
have
and
to.
redo the episodes with you singing in all of them. It's confidence. It's got his confidence.
I have. I finally got my pod balls.
Find us.
Found my pod balls.
And then we put a brick on them so we could do the falsetto. Right. So,
right, next track.
Dave Murray's finest writing credit.
Has to be.
The
Has
Prophecy.
To be. Has to be.
Love
Very
it.
Dave Murray intro as well.
Oh, yes.
A wee bit like Deja Vu, same sort of themes at the beginning. A wee bit. Now, not that that's bad because I love Deja Vu.
Yeah.
But it's a Dave Murray track.
It really is the best song he's ever written.
Yeah.
I think there's some wonderful bits of music here. And I think this is another example of Maiden being really proggy, but without the song having to last ages. It's pretty short.
It is.
You know, it's 5 minutes.
Bruce's vocal performance in this as well. I forgot to mention it. Seventh Son, the note that he holds, and the going into the chorus, isn't it? Going into the chorus.
Oh yes.
Brilliant.
The pre-chorus.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I remember earlier on I said I would talk about it. Anyway, Prophecy. I think it's Bruce's one of his best vocals on the album.
Yeah.
And an album where his vocals are superb. The whole way through.
Yes.
But I love it.
Yeah.
The way he talks to himself. He's having a conversation with the good and the evil.
I love the voices that come in on each side. Like, oh, I love that.
Yeah,
and all
that's
that
it.
kind of
That's it.
stuff.
That's it.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Souls cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's really cool.
Brilliant. I love it. Again, it's heavy.
It's very Maiden.
It's dark, you know, but there's some lovely wee musical passages. That's
it.
You could almost break your lute out to that, you know, if you had
could
one.
indeed. You could be skipping around your curly shoes.
It's a bit medieval sounding.
Yes, it is. The chorus, the vocal melody in the chorus does not what you expect, and I Maiden do that sometimes. I'll take your life in my hand.
Okay.
That first, it doesn't go up the right.
Because I was going to say there almost isn't a chorus in this song, but
Well,
I suppose that is,
I'd say the chorus, but
that probably is.
It is the chorus, I would think, yeah.
It's not
that they're writing out
it's not like
structure.
a traditional.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
No,
you know
no,
what I mean?
it doesn't.
Like
but that bit that I would sort of traditionally be calling the chorus, but that bit there is like it follows. I don't know anything about music, or I do know loads about music, but I don't know how to play the guitar, but I don't know how to read music.
Right.
Musically speaking, I don't really know what that
you
means. Theoretically, that's right. That's the word I was looking for. But I love that because it's totally different. Even when I was a kid, I remember that sort of stood out to me that wee bit.
So what that chorus bit,
that particular vocal line he takes with the music going in the background, it doesn't follow the pattern of the music. It doesn't follow the notes of the music.
Yeah,
sure it doesn't. It's like nearly like a harmony to the music. The way he sings it. I could be talking rubbish here.
it's just a melody over the top of it.
Yeah, but it's a weird melody.
Yeah, it is a weird.
Yeah.
I know. I would say it's a weird melody.
Yeah.
There's something very drifty or something about it. There's lots of long sweeping notes.
Yeah.
That he's bending down into other notes.
Yeah.
I think, you know. Take you.
Yeah.
It's all that kind of
Sounds
stuff.
like a chant at a funeral where there's no new music. You know what I mean? Like
it's an odd kind of a vocal line, but brilliant.
From class.
Yeah.
That's right. I mentioned that. I love it.
Some cool
Into the guitar work is sublime the whole way through. Sublime.
the whole way through, and the outro
Is
is
brilliant.
magic. Yes, it is.
It's brilliant.
It's absolutely brilliant.
It's brilliant. You nearly. It's
one of
when
the,
I first. I don't remember when I heard this the first time. I'm being silly, but I probably thought that was the end of the album.
But I remember learning
You know what I mean?
to play which again has a kind of it's a little bit medieval sounding.
Yeah.
You know, and then when the acoustics kind
beautiful.
of come up in the mix, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it's just class.
It is. You get
It's
that could
double
be.
talk and jive before
Yeah.
double talk and jive.
Uh-huh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It really is fantastic.
Just something so cool about that. It's one of the finest moments ever
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
musically. It's just
It's beautiful.
it's beautiful,
It's virgin and classical.
so proggy. And yet
English,
it's so
but it's
concise.
old with an E. English folk, I think.
Yes,
You know.
yes, it
Yeah.
is absolutely.
Yeah.
And huge credit to Dave Murray for pulling this song out of the bag.
Yeah. Because
You know, it's like, wow.
yeah, it
Where
is
did that come from?
unbelievable the talent in that displayed. You know, if that was we know these other songs he's give credence to or whatever, give writing credits to, but you know, if he never wrote another song,
No,
that's brilliant.
that's and
I'll do
you know,
me.
it's awesome. The lyrics, I love the lyrics in this song as
Yeah,
well, because it's one of the songs that I think lyrically you don't have to think too much to hear what it's about.
True.
The story's really clearly told.
Yeah.
In it.
It's the seventh son taking up his mantle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a young man foresees disaster looming, but no one listens.
Yeah.
And his prophecy that the village will be destroyed comes true. So that's basically it.
His great power really isn't all that powerful after all if nobody listens
No
to
one
him.
listens to him. Yeah.
And he can't play with madness. If he can do nothing, what good is his power?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think it's possibly my favorite track of the album. Possibly.
That's one of mine. It is one of mine too. Yeah.
It's so hard. The album is
I
so
can't really
good.
pick a
It's
favourite
hard
track
to
in this
pick a
album,
favorite.
you know?
It really is. Don't know. Maybe that with Infinite Dreams and Moonchild and the title track.
Infinite Dreams was up there at Moonchild for me. Yeah.
And the next two are also stunningly good.
Yeah.
So
This is a
real tough one,
a real good album. You see.
There's
no back in the village. There's no
filler.
There's no flash of the blade.
No.
There's really not. And this
It's
is
very concise.
It's
They've trimmed the fat. There just isn't any all right, I'm not the biggest fan of Can I Play With Madness, but every song is pretty much killer.
Yeah.
I would say.
I would say there's no filler in this album.
And Steve's lyrics in The Prophecy are brilliant, as are his lyrics on the next track.
Days.
Now, we've just talked about The Prophecy there and how wonderful the outro of that is.
Yeah.
Now,
the
intro of Clairvoyant
I love
always
that song.
gives me goosebumps.
I love it.
Always gives me goosebumps.
Me too.
That bass line.
It's just not just the bass line. The bass line's fab.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got a curtain of metal on top of it. That's the best way to describe it.
A curtain of
A
metal.
lush we haven't even talked about the production of this album.
No.
The lush production just showers you with twin humbuckered strats.
Before that.
Yeah, and then it just comes in, you're like, get in. There hasn't even been really anything drummy yet. A wee bit of hi-hat in there. But
there's something glorious about this
it's
song.
glorious.
It's like
it's a call to arms for metal.
For me, this is like a victory lap.
This is a victory lap. Is right.
You know,
it's a flipping 25-yard screamer in the last minute.
And for me, this should be always part of the encore.
A fantastic
and an
call.
ultimate Maiden gig. Maiden, if you ever
This will
listen
be
to
this will be the first one.
play the Clairvoyant
I
when
play
you come
it when
back
you come
on
back
stage.
on. Oh, imagine.
That just, you know, because it's just that, you know, the band have hit a home run.
I tell you
or
why they wouldn't do
whatever.
it. I tell you why they wouldn't
Victory
do it.
lap time.
I tell you why they wouldn't do it.
Why?
There's no bombast for Bruce at the very beginning of the track.
Don't need it. There's bombast.
I know they don't need it. There's bombast aplenty, but you have to keep the singer happy.
But when he comes out and goes,
I wonder why, I wonder how. Yeah.
get that brick back in place there. Get that falsetto going. I mean, it's class.
I knew you were going to love this. I love this. I love this too, though.
As you can
We
see,
talked about this about 25 years ago. So I freaking
love this song. Love this song.
Yeah.
And it's solely written by Steve Harris. And again, it lasts only 4 minutes.
Yeah, he's gone on.
26
He's done.
seconds.
He's flipped it around. He's
The songs feel
broadened out
like
over the past few albums. Now he's concise, snappy, of its
concise
time.
and snappy, and
No,
yet,
of its time's not right, but you know.
no, they sound like there's an epic quality to some of these songs, and yet they're short.
Yeah.
And that's an achievement, I think, that marks this album out
Yeah.
as different from
What went before?
possibly anything before, and
what
certainly
what
anything
come
after.
Yeah.
It is just how epic some of the songs sound, but they're only 4 minutes or 5 minutes, most of them. You know, the only song, as we've said, that is over what we've got nearly 10 minutes of Seventh Son. The next longest song is Infinite Dreams, which is only 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Like for Maiden, you know, the songs are short.
They are.
And yet it does not take away from, they all have epic qualities.
They do.
So Clairvoyant,
Yep.
for me, I'd have loved this to have been the first single of the album if I was a fan at the time.
Yeah,
This
that
would
would
have
have been a
been
great choice.
Totally. It started the whole concept off. We've talked about
Yes, it did, with Doris Stokes.
Doris Stokes,
Yeah.
etc. And meaning wise of the song, I think it's is about like kind of like, you know, a seer who can foresee his own demise. It's pretty much
I think
it.
it's the child
Yes.
has all this power, brings nothing but sadness.
He's now a clairvoyant. He can foresee things.
And reality just cracks under him.
Okay.
You know.
And
What good is it to see the future if you can't see your own?
yes, you can't see your own.
Yeah.
Yes. Which
This
is
power is a curse.
links into what Steve said about Doris Stokes, which
Yeah,
was
that's
his
right.
idea was I
Could she
wondered
foresee her own
could she
demise?
foresee her own
Yeah.
death, you know, if she was, if she
Yeah.
did have these powers, could she see her own death? You know, that kind of thing. So that is in there.
And the lyrics, you know, as a 9-year-old boy, as soon as you're born, you're dying, and you're like, right enough.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
you were I was 13 when
Yeah.
I, you know, started listening to this, and it makes you think of your mortality. Now in our 40s,
Yeah,
that line,
yeah,
yeah,
even more so.
is it more so?
Yeah.
And
Except now we wish they were playing it live on an encore instead of thinking, you know.
yeah. But even though it's thought provoking in maybe an unpleasant way, there's still something that's so uplifting and makes me so happy when I hear
It's
this
a
song.
very,
It just makes
very
you go,
uplifting track. It makes you want to do that. It does.
Yeah.
Makes you want to just get the fist out.
musically it's brilliant.
Yep.
Um,
Twin lead masterclass.
Yes, absolutely.
Masterclass.
Great
lead work.
by both.
Yes. By both.
I think by yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. Both solos are
Masterful.
are great. It's just, what more can you say about it? Bruce sounds great, and the last line, "I feel reborn."
Again.
Like, that has to be up there. You know, if we ever did it may be something we do. You know, like like footballers that have like a sizzle reel or something. You know, their best goals,
Yeah,
their best moments.
Best
If
dickies.
If we ever do a best Maiden moments sizzle reel type thing, which maybe something we
We
could do.
call
on
them
the show.
the sheriffs, like an award ceremony.
That last line, that line would be on it,
Yeah, definitely.
and would be bloody high.
Definitely. I would.
So it would. I feel reborn.
That's a great
again.
idea.
Yeah, we should do that.
We should do. We should do.
It's like, you know,
Totally hummable.
Greatest career goals type thing, you know.
Dave's so look. I've actually written that. I feel reborn again with like 19 explanations.
So you have. He has. Upbeat track with downer lyrics you've written, which we said absolutely.
Dave's solo, super tight, clean and punchy. Vocal melody is just excellent.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Magic.
But the sad thing about it is, all albums need to come to an end,
Yes.
and only the good ones die young.
Yes. I love this song.
We do.
And it's straight in.
Yep. Ding, ding. Yep, it is.
There's no pissing about.
Nope.
There's no intros.
Farting around.
There's no, you know, it's just boom, 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 into the gallop.
Right.
Straight in. Class. It's upbeat.
The lyrics are
The lyrics
The
are
lyrics are.
brilliant.
You couldn't get away with them, the first one, anyway, these days, but I know.
It's heavy.
It is indeed.
There's a darkness again. That kind of, you know, mystical occult.
And this
thread
one,
that's through the whole album.
the child's just saying,
Yes.
you're not prepared to listen. You're just going to live your own way.
Is that what you? Is that your take
Yeah.
on it? I have a different.
With
That's
your
interesting.
bishops and your guilt.
Yeah.
Have a nice sin.
So, yeah, that's. I kind of put it that he's died, and he's questioning. Are we reincarnated? So there's a line. Oh, what is it?
Oh,
There's
is that
a-
what you're linking that to the clairvoyant then? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that he foresees his own death in the clairvoyant. He then dies. I think.
Right. Okay.
I feel reborn again is the
Okay.
last line of the clairvoyant.
Okay. Okay.
Then only the good die young.
Yeah.
There's questions about reincarnation and about religion.
Yeah, okay.
So the line you said about bishops there, there's a line that really is.
Aye.
It's about. It is. Oh,
I suppose it's right. Go on ahead.
I'm trying to think of the line.
Your
dude.
bishops and your guilt.
No.
said that
There's
already.
another line that really
Time
screams.
waits for no man.
No,
My wishes fulfilled. Hold on till I consult my lyrics.
it will be in there. It's just escaped my mind. And I
Look
didn't-
at the tape.
class.
It's worn off.
Totally worn off. There's
Doesn't
no
even
print.
say anything
no
on it.
print left in the
There's a
tape.
wee bit there.
2. You can see it in the side
Say
2.
two. I'll put that on. I'll probably break. Right, hold on. Right, I'll have to have my readers on.
you want me to have a look?
You better.
I can't believe I forgot the line.
Anyway,
see.
Emilia Gallup, twin lead, great chorus, keyboards great, super guitar lines.
Yeah, this is it here.
Go on ahead.
Is death another birthday?
Profound.
I thought that's reincarnation.
Yeah, I think this is him dying. Yeah,
A way
don't
to
get me
kiss
wrong. I
your
don't think he's
dreams
dead already
goodbye.
though.
Do the undead live within us
Yeah.
and look through our eyes?
Eh,
That's definitely reincarnation.
Do you choose the hard road? Do you choose the easy road? Mankind's going to choose the easy road.
And as you say, the next lines are definitely about questioning religion. Walking on water are miracles all you can trust. Measure your coffin, does it measure up to your lust?
Yeah.
So I think I'll leave you with your bishops and your
Bishops and-
guilt.
aye.
So
I
until
think-
the next time, have a good sin.
I
That
think
is-
that's him dying, you see, but anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. It could be
Yeah.
that.
Well, we're not-
I think it's more
I
questioning
tell you what, we probably put,
different theories of it.
we probably
so-
put more chatting into that than the band have.
yeah,
The past 30 years.
probably have, you know.
Yeah.
So they tend not to overanalyze, do they?
No, they do not tend over. It's
But I think it's like, you know, you've got world religions of different views in this, and I
Yeah.
think one of them, you know, if you read that whole thing, mystery madman and a blah blah
yeah.
blah,
Victim of
that's
cruel.
definitely about, you know, reincarnation.
Yeah.
It's death for another birthday and all that.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
I think it's yeah,
It's a brilliant way to end the album.
brilliant way to end the album.
Absolutely.
And musically, it's class. It's just
Yeah.
a stomper. And again, I think you could lift this musically. You could lift it and put it on.
We're going Peace of Mind. We're going Peace of Mind.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Right, actually.
You know, it's just classic
Uh-huh.
Maiden.
Yeah. I think as well, at the end of the track, no, I'm not even going to talk about that yet. Ari Aris's 4-line bass solo
Yes, yes, that is cool.
is really cool.
when the guitars just
in the
gallop.
in the middle of that song, in the middle of this album, I just goes, "Oh, a bit of that."
Yeah, I think that's a cool wee moment as well. It's just different.
Yeah,
it's just something different.
Totally. Really cool, really awesome.
And it adds to that little proggy vibe, even in a 4-minute rocker.
Yeah.
You know, there's those little touches. That just give
a wee flourish.
Just give this album something different. And
then we come back to the beginning again. The cyclical nature.
The way it finishes off with the acoustic 7 Deadly Sins. Love it.
Yeah.
Again, what a way to end.
I have to say as well, this is the only Harris Dickinson, isn't it? No, Moonchild is as well, isn't it?
No, it's a Smith Dickinson Moonchild.
It's a
Harris Dickinson. Yeah.
And there hasn't been one?
There hasn't been... Oh, there might have been one. There hasn't been many.
Yeah, I kind of thought this being at the end, it's a fitting end to the decade where the pair of them rose.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just like the Moonchild.
Well,
their rise to power.
It's interesting. Now, we've talked through the tracks there.
Yeah.
And
I'm talking about the cover, by the way.
We haven't talked. We'll talk about the Eddies.
Yes.
I suppose just
towards the end.
Towards the end. But we'll just, the interesting thing you say there about the end of the decade, this album is the end of an era.
Absolutely.
For you agree?
I 1,000,000% agree.
%. I know the guys on the Satellite 664 podcast or channel, whatever you want to call it, which is, if you haven't watched it, check it out. It's got some great content, very different from what we're doing, and like a Maiden roadie on Steve Lippy Newhouse, and it's brilliant. Loads of different type of show, and they've got great info. But he has said in quite a few shows that he feels that Fear the Dark's the end of the classic era, and I just don't agree with that at all.
No, I don't at all.
This is the end of an era.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the departure of Adrian
Smith, yeah, absolutely. And when they're writing the next one.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about the tour in the next episode, because we're going to review Maiden England.
Yep.
Which is the live album of the 7th tour of the 7th tour. They tour from 28th of April 88 to the 12th of December 88, and which is a shorter tour time wise.
It is, absolutely.
It is 102 shows. But
intense.
But they do bigger shows.
Yeah, they do. The NAC.
Yeah.
Earl's Court.
And Donington,
yeah.
You know? And I think the other difference is, rather than starting off in the UK and playing all over, they do a show or two in Germany because they were there doing the album, but you're right, they then go to the States and they work their way back around to the UK.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's no big UK tour. It's Donington and Birmingham NEC for you know, so bigger shows. And I think they play less shows but bigger shows. The tour ends 12th of December, but by January, Adrian's gone, I think.
Yeah, is it not 1990?
Or maybe it might be January 90.
January 90 he left. That's when they're making the album.
Right, okay.
No.
You might be right.
I don't know if I'm or not.
You might be right. We'll have to check that.
They wouldn't sit on an album for a year. Yeah.
You might be right.
It was 90 and the 91, Bring Your Daughter to Slaughter was number 1. That's it, right. I'm going ahead of myself. Yeah, it's a year. But yeah,
within a year he's
I find
gone
it,
then.
yeah, and there are reasons I haven't looked into yet. I don't want to talk about them now, but yeah, they're not evident here.
No, so not evident here. Listening to this album, you would never, ever have guessed
this is
that, you know, this is Maiden in their pomp.
I have to say personally, this is a door closing for me. This album.
Yeah, it's the end of an era.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even you were into Maiden good 3 or 4 years after I was. By the time Fear the Dark came out, I was wearing a shirt like this and listening to Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and in Nirvana. I'm totally into that.
Yeah, you see,
I was.
I remember you were. Well,
Still am a Maiden, still listen to Maiden, still loved them.
Mm-hmm.
They were always my favourite band, but, you know, I just kind of put them away for a wee while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was getting into this at that age, and the grunge thing, I didn't really see a big difference. See, there was
neither did I. It was about music.
People that, you know, saw them as
style.
You know, Guns N' Roses versus Nirvana and all that at the time, and
I forgot about Guns N' Roses. I was mad into Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
After Maiden.
Me too. I was into Guns N' Roses before Maiden, so, but I never saw the big difference. To me, it was all guitar music.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
absolutely.
And a lot of people at that time when we were at school didn't quite get that.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't really get that.
Scene. Yeah.
Well, if you listen to Black Sabbath, it's pretty much sounds very similar to Soundgarden. You know. Even at that time, I couldn't really see a
my
big
dad
difference.
brought Paranoid home. That's where I got that.
So yeah. No, but this album is the end of an era.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
It's fab.
and it is, what a way to end it.
What a way to end it. Just think what a way to start it.
Just what a way to start it.
You know, Iron Maiden was great. You know, it really was. And then you've got all those changes, all that progression, all the change of producer, and then the Martin Birch, and then Adrian, and then you've got Bruce,
Martin Birch did sorry to interrupt, Chris, but we haven't really mentioned
the production.
Martin Birch. The production is again brilliant.
It's the best production he ever did.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very hard to
just
really
listen to the
say
clairvoyant. Listen to the clairvoyant.
Yeah. I know this.
Yeah, I'm very black and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen to the clairvoyant.
The thing is, man, with
curtain of metal.
Martin Birch has taken this great band, and initially he gets that sound out of them, but I think what is magic was that he's able to take the band and put just a slightly different gloss or slightly different tone on the band.
We've said that before.
Album.
Yeah, we've said that before. I think it's to do with tech.
Done it again here brilliantly.
Yeah.
There's more to it than tech. It's about vision.
Oh, absolutely. But it's having the tools as well, I think.
Him and Steve have to have had a little chat. I know Steve always says, "Well, we just go in and make the best album that we can, and we don't talk about
anybody
direction."
In, managers, not
But Martin Birch was, and he's part of the process, and he will have definitely have had an idea. You have to go in and have a direction for an album. You know, a bit of an idea about the guitar tones. For me, the guitars sound really beefy in this one.
No, they're a really good sound.
You know, and they've toned down the reverb and the gloss of Somewhere in Time. Although they've got the keyboards in there.
Yeah, exactly.
They play a different role.
Yeah.
It's not the same as Somewhere in Time. It's different.
I definitely think technologically there's an issue. There's a difference there of having the guitar synth, which was brand new, to having keyboards which have been around in some way or other from the 70s with like a Moog organ or whatever, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but and then obviously the electronic music explosion in the early 80s. This is a different. They're not the same. Not the pitch mode we're talking about.
No.
You know, it's
not a Kraftwerk album.
No, it's not. It's not. But there was no Kraftwerk. It wouldn't be on here. This sort of thing, which I love the way that all intertwines. You know, but production-wise, I think it's his best. I do. I really do.
It has to be.
It's his best.
There, definitely.
Number of the Beast is second best, I think, because I love the production. Number of the Beast is just raw. You know. But
see, I love the guitar sounds and Peace of
Mind.
Mind.
You know, you do love Peace of Mind. Yeah,
you know,
of course.
It's, for me, kind of makes the album.
The way you're talking about this one, I think it's nearly like this is the successor to it in a way.
Yeah, I love this album.
Agree?
Yeah,
I love it too.
For a long time, when I was younger, this album was my top album.
Was it?
So it was. Yeah, I thought this was the untouchable Maiden album. For quite a few years as a teenager.
Yeah, well, you know, scores wise, we'll talk about that later. But you know, there'll be a long while before it's matched.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
I'm saying, personally speaking,
it's a terrific album.
Yeah,
absolutely terrific. Album.
Go and buy it.
Yeah.
Just go and buy. Go buy a 12-inch. Don't be downloading it. Buy it. Buy the bloody thing. Let's talk about the cover.
Yes, we'll talk about the Eddies.
Yeah.
The Eddies are phenomenal from this.
Do you think they're
album.
phenomenal? They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be my favourite Eddies. I do love the cover, but I
Really?
think the single covers are brilliant, and the clairvoyant or the prophecy on the inside is class. I love them with
Yes.
his shortened do.
And the two candles.
Yeah.
And the crystal ball.
And he still has a wee peace of mind.
So-
This harks back.
Yeah.
Did
That's the
Dag Riggs not
prophecy
do
or
this on
something.
like the night before or something?
Couldn't have done that the night before. Look at it. It's an epic artwork.
And it was originally meant to be grey. I heard that too.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's originally meant to be a grey background setup, boy. But
It's terrific.
it is class
It's
looking.
absolutely stunning. I mean, how do you follow the artwork from
I know.
somewhere in time?
I love the wee guy.
Yes,
The wee guy in the stomach.
it's amazing.
It is class.
It's
Not my favorite. It's not really one of my favorite ones. So probably the background rather than the Eddies. But I love, again, I'm saying that in the background. I can see
Look at
Number of the
all,
Beast.
all the frozen eddies.
The
that
frozen
refer
eddies.
Peace of
mine.
mind.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I suppose it reflects an end of an era
Yes, it does, and it's got this lovely
theme.
ethereal and surreal Salvador Dali influence there. I think, with the hanging lights
Yes.
and
Let me just
hanging off the
a
icebergs.
miniature version of it here
It's
from 1988.
The cloud,
Yeah,
which
is Eddie.
revisits. We get that again in Brave New World, but it looks actually better here in a way. It's just
Yeah, one of my favorite covers, Brave New World. Yeah,
it's just absolutely terrific.
Take Eddie out of it, it could be a Pink Floyd album.
Yeah. Which it's let's face it,
Trying to be,
it's like a
or
they've
not
went-
trying to be, but like a
It's
like
their
an honest
version
honest,
of
an honest go at.
yeah,
You know?
they're being progressive,
Yeah.
aren't they? I think it's a smashing album cover.
Do you? No, I wouldn't be one of mine, but
No, fair enough.
but
to
and-
follow
do you
somewhere
know,
in
even the
time
wee
and Power
symbols.
Slave.
Look at the wee symbols in the
Yeah.
lyrics, and they're all to do. They all have meaning too. That's infinity, or the thing eating itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh god, I can't remember her name.
I mean, you'd have thought that was Moonchild,
You would have thought that was Moonchild.
and yet it's under
Can I
Put
Agree
a
with Madness? An evil that meant there's a duck eating its own insides.
Maybe
Class.
they're not just all in the right symbol
Yeah.
or
probably.
the right
Dunno.
spot, but it's a fantastic.
Look at Nico's jumper. You getting that? He's wearing a jumper. His granny probably bought him.
Yeah, I think
Class.
Rod Smallwood talked about some of the fashion faux pas about the Puma.
Oh, I bet you.
Shots
Here,
all for this
Puma
album
said you
is
want
the-
free gear.
Aye, and Rod said the band looked absolutely ridiculous. He should have put his foot down. He
Sale
said,
suits.
they just didn't look. Yeah, but no, I love the art. I mean, the album cover there, I just think is really, really cool. It's so surreal. Top of Eddie's head is off.
Yeah, well, like I like the Can I Put a Madness cover, and it's a fist going through that head.
Yes.
And that head's full of scrambled eggs.
Yes.
So yeah, it is
That is
surreal. Yeah.
brilliant. It's
Oh, and,
a wonderful bit of surrealism.
The other great cover is it Infinite Dreams?
No,
it's not
It
Infinite
will
Dreams.
be the
It's
evil that men do.
It's like a
So the evil that men do
ghostly
is
thing?
there's the kind of like a cage in the
yes,
mouth,
yeah. I
type
love
thing.
it. Yeah, it's cool.
and the clairvoyant is like there's an eye and a corkscrew,
That's
and there's
right.
like is it like a three-faced thing?
Yeah, it's weird.
And they're all in those kind of a sky background.
Yeah,
So there's that brilliant continuity that
yeah.
Riggs always brings to,
Yeah.
to his work. I just think the artwork is stunning.
Yeah.
I just think it is it better than Power Slave or Somewhere in
I
Time.
don't think it's better than Somewhere in Time.
I think it is on par with
Right.
those.
Yeah, fair.
He's done it again.
Yeah.
He's pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah.
With his Ice Age surreal
Awesomeness.
awesomeness. Which suits the album.
Oh, it does indeed. Absolutely. Yeah, it does.
Um,
Like Somewhere in Time suited up.
Yep. And
Live After Death.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
And it gives them a brilliant stage set with all the ice
Yes.
and stuff.
It does, yeah.
So it absolutely pulls it out of the bag. I think it's probably the last
Great cover.
album cover. I would say.
Yes.
It is the
Yes, I
last
agree.
truly terrific classic.
Yeah.
Because Riggs does a couple more, but
The continuity is not the continuity. The thematic nature of them is different.
it's just not. It's not the same.
No.
You know. And
Yeah, I would agree with
neither.
that.
It's also his last kind of that double
Yeah. It's
for
the
a
last.
gatefold.
It's the last one. Obviously LPs were still available.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
but
you're probably
going
moving
CDs
more
and
into
tapes, aren't you?
tapes and CDs.
Yeah.
So they start to become
Yeah.
a bit more
Aye, square.
Square. Yes. So the scope of them comes down. The music industry, as we will talk about going into the 90s, becomes more about less is more and all that kind of a vibe.
Step down.
And that doesn't suit the sheer
Bombast.
bombast of either Maiden's music or their artwork. So they tone it.
Say that at the same
I
time.
know, it's the only word.
Yeah,
It's the
it
only
really
word to
is. It
describe
really is. It's fabulous.
So I have one more little thing.
Yeah, go on ahead.
I just want to say about the album.
Yeah.
I suppose before we give it its marks, and
Yeah,
if
cool.
there's anything else.
No, I don't have any more to say. I've said more than enough.
More than enough. Okay.
Sang more than enough this evening.
I'll just a wee bit out of Bruce's.
What does this button
What
do?
does this button do?
Well worth the buy, folks.
The chapter called Moonchild. So I think this is really quite interesting. It's only a short little snippet, but it'll reflect my reasons for my mark. So I'll read this and then give him a mark, and then
Fair.
you can give your mark.
Fair
Is
enough.
that cool?
That's good.
So all of this extracurricular activity was bound to be impacted eventually by Iron Maiden. And so began the writing process of our next album, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. It would be one of our best. Steve was constructing the bones of an album out in Essex at his home, which had a replica pub, a real football pitch, with home and away dressing rooms and everything, and eventually a rehearsal room and a recording studio. Steve and I reignited our songwriting partnership. He mentioned the words concept album, and my ears pricked up, and my heart began to beat faster. Story, theatre, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son had it all. Except it didn't. Not quite all of it. Somewhere in my dusty collection of mouldy scribblings, I have the short story that tells the tale of the seventh son and his family issues and unrequited love that led him to take a terrible and tragic revenge. But we never really consummated that story relationship. My lyrics alluded to the story, whereas Steve's didn't. None of this really matters that much in the overall picture because the show, the album cover, and the title track were more than epic enough to satisfy the faithful. I just would have liked to have given it a bit more, even to the extent of a graphic novel.
Wow.
There we go. So, I think, for that reason, I think Bruce kind of hits the nail on the head. It's an awesome album.
It's great.
But there's two... My mark will be a 9 out of 10.
Right, okay. Well,
And
good,
the
that's
reason...
good.
Yeah, it's a super high mark.
Yeah, it is.
The reason it doesn't get a 10 out of 10 is Can I Play With Madness? Meh, just doesn't quite hit it for me, as I've said at length. And the other reason I'm dropping half a point is exactly what Bruce has alluded to there. The story, it's there, but it's not quite there. I think it could be more, it could be clearer, the story could be sharper. Just lyrically, I think at times it's maybe hard to figure out exactly what's going on in the story. And I think that's what Bruce is getting at. He would have liked it to have been a bit more, given it a bit
on
more
the money.
On the story front to have been really clear what was happening.
Yeah, I
and
quite
to
like
have
that.
told a bit more.
I like the ambiguity of it though.
You like the
I do that.
ambiguity.
Do like that. You make your own mind up about it.
Yes, well that is true. I also find myself saying this and then thinking, you know, at the same time, they had about 2 months to make the bloody thing.
Probably about the song 2 weeks. All right.
They made it, you know, it was made in such a short period of time. It's unbelievable. But yes, I think it's a wonderful album. It was my favorite when I was younger for a long time. And yeah, 9 out of 10. And
I think that's a brilliant score.
yeah.
I think it's a fair score. It couldn't be any fairer. I'm gonna give it 10.
Yay!
For the second time in a row.
It could be could be fair. There you go.
You know, I think this album is remarkable. I prefer Summer in Time, but that is the only difference.
Right.
I prefer Summer in Time. The songs appeal to me slightly more, but the production in this album is great. The guitar work in this album is great. The songwriting in this album is great.
Yes.
And I have listened to it for so many days now, constantly, and it just is cemented even more as a fantastic album. I was going to give it 10 anyway. You know, had I not listened to it, but the more I listen to it, the more I think it is
worthy,
nearly perfect. You know, it's nearly perfect. It's as perfect as we're going to get.
Okay.
You know, like Summer in Time. You know, there's no such thing as the perfect album. Obviously, there's always a wee bit bob here. The cover, I don't like the cover as much as like Summer in Time. Summer in Time has the historical aspect which trumps it, and a few wee bits lyrically and musically, which makes it my favourite. But they're both solid 10s.
Well, funny you should just say. I think,
and it's my history with the album. It's my relationship with the album. It is. That's the other thing
for me because of the guitar stuff. But just what you said there, and it's because we've reviewed Somewhere in Time prior to this, and for me, actually, the concept story of this album, it made it clearer to me that the story's a bit. I had to think, and even though I know the album like the back of my hand, I had to listen to the lyrics and try and think what's actually going on in this. You know, it's supposed to be a concept album. What actually is the story?
Yeah.
I had to think and dig and try and find what it was. Whether Somewhere in Time, it was so obvious what the songs were about. The lyrics are so more accessible.
Yeah.
Like anyone could listen to Somewhere in Time, and any human on earth could relate to the themes and stories that are there. And this is very different. It's very, what's all that about? You know, you could take it that way.
Ambiguity,
and I'd never really kind of thought about it that much before until trying to review it, thinking, right, what's actually this about? Really? The story has to be there. You know, and even the fact that I didn't know it after all these years kind of shows that I think Bruce has a point about it not being quite as maybe direct, or he feels some of the songs aren't actually really that connected to it. I get what you're saying.
I quite like the ambiguity of it though, and from it I have got my own ideas about it, you know what I mean? You know? But it's definitely a 10 for me.
It's nitpicking for me.
It will be a long time till we get another one.
It is a classic album, and it would be a long time, probably until there's a 9 even, I think, from me, like giving too much away about future episodes. But so Seventh Son of a Seventh Son has achieved an Ed Factor total score of 9.5 out of 10.
That is a record. So, you know,
that is
that's as high as we've given it.
Is it as high?
Yeah, Number of the Beast, I think, is the highest.
Did we give it 9.75 or something overall?
Did you give it a 10?
Number of the Beast, I gave it 10.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I give it 9.5.
Aye, so.
Right, okay.
So I think it's our leader.
I think it's our leader.
But I think this might have just popped into second.
I think it has. Yeah.
So it has.
Indeed.
So, we need to just check that. So, we will be back. Thank you for staying with us. It's been a lot longer than I anticipated.
Yeah, we're nearly at Somewhere in Time territory. Yeah. We will be back. Well, we have a wee bit of a different change. We are going to go. We're going to leave the 90s for a wee while.
We're going to do Made in England.
Yeah, we're going to do Made in England.
Sorry, so we'll finish the 80s. So
and then we're going to do some sort of recappy things
We'll do a bit of recap and
Yep.
stuff just on the 80s period.
Try and get you involved a bit more.
Yeah.
And
love to hear from you, hear
Yep.
your opinions, etc. And once we do that, we'll be hitting the 90s. But we're going to do a few recap things first because
yeah.
this is the 80s is.
To quote
it's an
Adrian
era-
Smith, it's the golden years.
It is the golden years, and I think it would be remiss of us not to do a little bit of reflecting
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that
absolutely.
and try and pick out our
Content.
favorite
There's
moments and
enough
favorite
content.
tracks,
There's a lot of
etc.
content. Yeah.
There's a lot there. So hope you've enjoyed, and we will speak to you soon.
Thanks for listening.
Up the irons.